I am going, I'm going to get us started. Welcome to the last Shield call in 2025, Shield update call, and probably also the last of all the work group calls, as far as I can tell. We have the usual agenda, so we're going to hop right in terms of HL7 announcements. Still ongoing ballot reconciliation. Going on. And Live It Fire will be published in January, probably. We're still um, struggling with one little quirk that has to do with the fact that Live It supports more than one version of Loink, and so while other terminology servers might be able to um, do that pretty easily or accommodate that. Somehow with a publisher, that's not working out. So Rob is doing his best to try to get that out and
I
published.
I think I have that solved.
Oh,
Um,
good. Oh, good.
I I worked it out and kind of did it, and then Graham said he didn't know that that would work, but it apparently is working, and so I think we're okay. So
Excellent. So January is still our goal now, right? And it
I think
looks
so. Yeah.
that's promising. Excellent. Thank you so much for your work on that. So yeah, there's the cow workflow, the Universal Fire Lab Report IG, and the European Lab Report IG. So the first two are ballot reconciliation. The third is actually not ballot reconciliation. I probably should outdent that. It is it is um, um, reworking on the next version of it to accommodate some of the European health data space um, items. Um, and then the 2026 January ballot opens here this Friday. I listed a couple of things that might be of interest to folks in the Shield community. And ballot is open for fun reading over the holiday break. So if you can't fall asleep because you ate too much, you can read some Fire or Six. Any other HL7 announcements anybody can think of that I forgot? If not, are there any federal government announcements? I only see Michael on. I didn't know of any.
I have nothing to report. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any others? So we did get the Loink year-end review came out, so we have linked that. Are there any other announcement folks want to make? Not hearing any, so we'll go to upcoming meetings. So the next is the HL7 International Working Group meeting, which is virtual. Um, and then the IHE European Connectathon in Brussels, and the SNOMED business meeting in April in Vienna and virtual. If anybody has any others they know about, you could put them in the chat. We'll update the slide. Um, I don't know. Rob and maybe Kareem. I don't know if you both were. I know Rob was at HL7 Europe. Is there any updates you want to give that anything that the Shield community should know about?
Good question. I mean, we're still working through, I guess, as you know, how to handle the lab, you know, panel and result grouping issues and all that. And I think we made some headway in Cologne, discussions there, and we're bringing that back to the larger group as well, and still trying to make further headway with some new proposals on that. So.
Okay, any other things to report about from that meeting?
There's probably things I should be thinking of, but not at the moment.
Okay. It's all right. If more comes up, we can always
Yep.
update it later. Any other meetings people have been recently to that might be of interest to this group? I'm not hearing any, so then we'll go to updates. So the steering committee update for this month is that we have added representation from ADLM. So thank you, Lee, and welcome. We're so glad to have you. The leader white paper publication was approved, so that's available and it's linked on the leader workgroup slides. And the steering committee finished reviewing the LRI review document that the standards and vocab working group pulled together. And now we're trying to figure out specifically what to the next steps are around dealing with it, how we want to utilize the work of that review. And then the standards and vocab work group is also collecting qualitative result values. And I know that the European semantic working group has been working on that too, like the ordinal value sets. So I don't know, Kareem, if you want to talk about any of that, or we'll just compare notes, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like there's quite a bit of detail to it that's not been bottomed out completely yet. I mean, we were only having some of the. I think you were on the call on was it yesterday? God, it feels like the week already. Yeah. So there's a lot that's quite no a few items that are still going across to the lab semantic working group. So there are the ordinal value sets, but then there's the question around how we represent the quantitative outputs with the interpretations that become
Right.
ordinal or qualitative, whatever. So yeah, it's still that stuff that's ongoing.
Yep. We'll keep
Yeah.
an ear out, and I'm so glad, you're
More yesterday.
part of this, and
Yeah.
we can cross collaborate, and by at least by having the same people on the different calls. So like Rob also and Jim. So
They're still trying to figure out the lists of content anyway, that they want to use from Loic that's interoperable with SNOMED and MPU.
right. That's excellent too. So yeah, lots of work still to be done. No worries about being bored anytime soon. Um, and then the steering committee is considering maybe writing a vision document based on items pushed out in the ASTP ONC Labs data interoperability report to Congress. So we're going to start focusing on that, I think, in January, and seeing where we get. And maybe Eric can talk a little bit more about it when he's given the communications and branding's working group update as well. We still have a steering committee call tomorrow, so I guess that's the last Shield call for 2025 then. So we'll be working on some of that tomorrow as well. IVD Data Hub, a working group, has been on hold for a while and is still on hold. We still don't have any FDA participation, so it's just not going to progress without them, I think. So it is what it is. The leader working group has been successful, finally got the white paper published, and we're trying to figure out if the work that was done by Deloitte under the FDA, BAA, in developing that authoring tool called Comet, has all the bioMérieux content in it so that we could maybe figure out next steps for the pilot. I guess the work is moved over to the VA. At least that's what I hear through the grapevine. And there is a integrating knowledge exchange community that was launched that is using Comet. I think they're currently focusing on cardiovascular health concepts. So not lab related necessarily, but we'll keep an eye on that community, and maybe I'll make a note for myself to add Ike updates to the slides. And then we're still trying to crowdsource more content for reportable condition lipid file. And we're looking at the scope for leader, whether that should include more besides the results, maybe the result interpretation, calculations, other items like that. We had a call this morning talking about UDI representation in HL7 or what the folks are looking for when they're looking for device identification. We had a presentation from the Department of Health in Washington State. They did a little survey for us, asked both the EPIs as well as their public health laboratorians on how they're using some of those device data and what of the device data they're interested in. The details for all of that are on this linked wiki page here. It's not quite finished. I have a lot of handwritten notes that I still need to transcribe from this morning. But that's the page that you can find the summary of that report, as well as the report itself and all the other things we've pulled together on UDI so far. And then we were hoping to, make this topic a little bit, get this topic a little bit broader dissemination by having a presentation on the CDC forum for laboratory interoperability. In January, originally the forum would have been in January. Turns out it was going to be January 8th. So, but we only just found that out last week that it would be the 8th. And so I think CDC is looking for maybe finding a date in February that they could move that to, because January 8th is kind of short notice for everybody. And the leader work group next call is January 13th. Are there any questions around leader? If not, I'll hand it over to Eric.
Thanks, Ricky. Hi, everyone. Yeah, we do. So I think maybe we do have one more work group meeting scheduled. That's for this Thursday. It's at 11 a.m. Eastern. And yeah, I have to probably do a better job letting you know, Ricky. We did have to change our meeting schedule again. And I do have access to Confluence, but it doesn't let me access the calendar, unfortunately. So I can't update those myself, but it's
I'll put it in the calendar to make sure.
11:05 actually a.m. and
Okay.
should be the same meeting link.
Okay.
And yeah, so that we have one more meeting this year. I think you had mentioned the initiative to kind of look at drafting some sort of a vision statement. Again, we've been had some contact with IICC about possibly suggesting we put some sort of a open letter or some sort of a statement together about what what might need to happen, or what to accelerate some of our initiatives, or what opportunities we have. I think in discussions in the steering committee, it was suggested that maybe we use the report, the ONC report on, kind of lab report to Congress on lab connectivity as kind of a basis for that, in terms of some of the themes or some of the points brought up in that, or maybe some of the things that were missing from that. So I think that was most of us agreed that was a good document to base it on. Again, if this is going to get to executive branch or even legislative, that was provided a framework or some context to it. So the goal is to if there have been deeper dives into that in any of our organizations, I think some of us are looking into that. Also, digging into it, amongst the steering committee, and then coming back together in January to look at that and look at opportunities to comment on that and put this together over the first couple months of the new year.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. All right. Let's see. Standards and vocab working group. I don't see either of the co-chairs on, so we had some back and forth about co-chairs. So we have new co-chairs established as Julia and Scott, but they have not done a poll for meeting times in January, I think, but that's when they're planning on establishing the new call cadence for 2026. So the next call is TBD for that work group. If you're interested in participating, you can send me a note, or one to Julia and Scott. I'll put their emails into this PowerPoint. So if you're interested, you could reach out to them, make sure that you're on their list. All right, then we have open mic. Anybody has anything they want to address, talk about? Not hearing any, so then we're getting close to our last slide here, getting to the last slide. We've got our next All Shield call is the 27th, which overlaps with the HL7 working group meeting. So my question, it is during lunch. So my question is, what do folks think about moving that to the 20th? Would that work for folks, or would that mess people up? Okay, I see one thumbs up. I know a couple on this list are on at the working group meetings. That probably works better for them too. Yeah, okay. So I saw a couple of thumbs up. So since you're here, you get to help me decide. So we're going to move it to the 20th. So that's what we're doing.
All right.
I will update the calendar invite. And then the next one after that is February 24th. We do have open special topic calls. So if you have a topic you think we should, have the whole Shield community hear about or discuss about, send me a note. Both the January 13th and the February 10th slot are open at the moment. And if anybody got anything else?
Just I see Andrea is in the chat about getting a cleaned up version of the Leader white paper. I mean,
I was just wondering if one was available on the Confluence page that people can maybe download and share.
Okay, I can work on that.
Because I know there was some formatting that was still being finished for some of the citations and that sort of thing. So whenever that's ready.
I thought we were done with that, but I'll check. Yeah.
Yeah, or if I guess Rick, if you need any help, from communications committee on that, let me know.
And I
Yeah,
don't
so
know
we,
too, if you guys want to promote it anywhere too to get folks to start reading it, like
Yeah.
on
Mhm.
our LinkedIn page or other places. So that's why I was thinking, something that they could download would be helpful.
Mhm. Yeah, sounds like a good idea. I will provide a PDF. I'll maybe respond to the All Shield call with a link to it, so folks don't have to dig into the meeting minutes to find the link to it once it's cleaned up. But it should be pretty easy to just download that page as a PDF, but I'll double check. Figure that out. It's a good idea. Anything else? If not, I can wish everybody a peaceful and hopefully relaxing holiday season and a very, very happy new year. And I'll talk to you all next year,
Happy
which
holidays.
sounds far enough away, but it's just around the corner. Happy holidays, everybody.
Take care.
Happy holidays.
Thanks. Bye.